There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
Yeah, good, John. Good to be here. Only just made it. A few issues, but I'm here nonetheless. And yeah, really looking forward to this one to wrap the season up.
Sorry about that. Just realised I didn't have my mic going. We start down on the start-finish straight and we head up through Hell Corner and then up Mountain Straight, up into the quarry, otherwise known as Griffins. And then we duck up into the cutting, up to Griffins Mount, cross through Reed Park, down through Suleiman Park, where we dip down past, of course, at Frog Hollow, past the Great, and then into John Hicksman, and then across through into McPhillamy Park. And then once we get into McPhillamy Park, we come out the other side of that into the famous Skyline, through the S's into the Dipper, and then down the fast run into Forest Elbow, and then the longest straight in the Southern Hemisphere for motorsport. We then duck down Conrod Straight into the Chase. A very exciting spot, pull up the brakes, plenty of overtaking opportunities. And then come out of the Chase down in the Murray's Corner and we hit the start-finish straight all again. And it is a tough place. If you get the opportunity to go to Bathurst to watch a race, take it. You get the opportunity to go for a drive around the track, even when it's in a public format, take it. And I was lucky enough at Easter to actually walk a lap of the track as well, which was absolutely amazing, just how steep it is coming up through this part of the circuit. Like television and driving around it in a car and watching it in iRacing does it no justice.
No, you're absolutely right, John. It is an incredible piece of road to spectate, drive on, walk around. Like you say, the steepness coming up the mountain is incredible, and the drop-off at Skyline down through the S's is just as incredible as well. It is a phenomenal track, and it is the best place to go and watch a V8 supercar race.
Yeah, definitely. You're standing at the Coates sign up the top there, at the top of the S's near the Dipper. You actually do not see Conrod Straight. That's how quick it descends down, that it's actually hidden by the base of the mountain. You know, Jordan Ross on screen at the moment. He is looking to finish off the season quite well. Haven't got updated championship points, but I can say Jordan Ross needs to, not Jordan Ross, James Scott needs to just finish tonight to see himself seal the championship, but there's still a little bit of a battle with Paul Young in second and Christian Smart in third. Warboys just off the podium with Brenton Hobson, so but I think when drop rounds come into effect, I think it'll basically be a battle between Young and Smart for the podium positions, with James Scott a well-deserved champion at this stage, or champion-elect I should use. You may disconnect and be in trouble. Starting to get some times in. Dylan Rudd with a fast time already with a 2:02.1 28.129. That is a cracking time for this place. James Scott comes over the top with a 201.904. Wow. Wow, that is pretty epic in itself these times already. So some cracking paces. Sean McNamara back this evening as well, the boss of 9.5. Blake Warboys in 4th. Hobbo in 5th. So these guys definitely setting some cracking times. Been big hello to Will Wilson out in the chat, of course, mentioning that the second track at Bathurst apparently has just been knocked back or canned. It's a little bit disappointing. They're looking at doing a track out to the west or out to the east of the circuit. It was a more regular motorsport venue.
Yeah, that's a real shame for motorsport fans, but I do know that at Talia Road up near Seaham in Newcastle is not far off completion from what I've been told, so I'm not sure what sort of events they're looking to hold there, but that'll be a new track opening soon in New South Wales as well.
And of course, the new owner at Wakefield also fairly committed, I think, to trying to get some motorsport back there. So a little bit of hope for new motorsport enthusiasts in New South Wales that we might see a little bit more than just Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yeah, definitely a state like New South Wales needs more than one venue to hold motorsport events, that's for sure. And yeah, there's plenty of money involved in motorsport, and they should get some recognition from the government, just like the other sporting codes. But anyway, that's not for us to decide. We're here to decide the championship tonight, and James Scott is the man to beat, like he has been all season.
Yeah, definitely with that cracking time of a 2:01.9. As everyone's coming into pits at the moment, we've got a few on an outlet. Thomas Freeman, Vichy Motorsports. Hey, Thomas be looking for a big finish to the season as well here.
Yeah, Thomas has been on fire the last few weeks, and yeah, it's good to see Sean McNamara back in the 9.5 Simsport colours. He's currently sitting 3rd spot, so all that time away hasn't done him any harm, and he's shown some pretty good speed tonight. The battle between Christian Smart and Paul Young should be a pretty interesting one. Christian is a very capable driver, especially around this track, so him and Paul should have a pretty good battle, I would imagine, for that podium spot for the championship.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing what this battle plays out. Big shout out to the Minnow. He's jumped in the chat supporting the Freo. Thomas looking very composed here, so you can see we can get amongst them tonight. Sitting in 8th at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen from Thomas over the course of the season, especially the last few weeks, where his qualifying is not as strong as his race performance. His race performances have been absolutely outstanding, and if he could nail a qualifying lap, then he'd be a real contender for any championship.
Yeah, it's half the battle is getting yourself up the grid that little bit. Get yourself out of a bit of trouble. Big shout out to Joshy Barella who's watching us as well. And just going to grab a quick look at the track conditions for tonight. Of course, these 12 p.m. in the sim at the moment. Dynamic sky, temperature's 18 degrees. We've got 3 kilometres of wind from the northeast. And the humidity is on 3% or 2% at the moment. And track state for quali is 100%. We've got one fast repair for the boys tonight, unlimited fuel, and the incident point level has been set on 25. So we've got 49 laps to race. It could be 1, could be 2 stops, depending on what strategy these guys roll out. But I think we're in for a pretty cracking, exciting one. Bathurst always turns it on for these guys. Most of these blokes, V8 drivers, love Bathurst.
Yeah, absolutely. And the management of the East Coast Series have really been generous to the boys tonight with a mild track temperature of 26. So after the last few weeks where we've been in excess of 50 degrees, the boys will be loving this track temperature, I imagine.
Yes, back in the Southern Hemisphere. Looking forward to see what these boys can do as James Scott starts a fast lap. We might take the opportunity to jump on board the gyro and have a bit of a look at this magnificent circuit heading up Mountain Straight. See, he's got another Synergy Sim Racing car out in front of him. So not sure who that is. Big shout to Steve Murray, who's joined us as well.
It looks like Jordan Ross in the blue Synergy car maybe in front, and James will be picking up another tail, following up the mountain there, and he'll be looking to get another one down Conrad, I'm sure.
It definitely would be. Being direct messaged, being sent photos of myself standing under the coach sign.
Now the pictures there, it didn't happen, eh?
Absolutely. I got to laugh. Anyway, we'll have it. This is Kate sign. He's coming down through the S's into the dipper. Look at this. Pulling the car up. One in the wall. That's going to affect him. Drop it down through the dipper. On the gas early. Using every millimetre. Parking it right next to those walls. Into Forest Elbow. Remarkable little gradient change there. Very similar to, oh, he's pulled out of that. Very similar to the Lowe's hairpin, of course, at Monaco. It's that gradient change. As he's backed out of that one. Have a look. We've got a few boys passing him. I'm not sure what James has done there. Looks like he's clipped the wall at Forest, I'd say. Looking at the markings on the side of the car.
Yeah, I'm sure that teammate's car in the wall at the S's wouldn't have helped him either. It would have been a big distraction, that one.
Yeah, Jordan Ross getting in the way. It's come across the line. Dylan Rudd moves into P2. He gets himself into the 201s with a 201.956. Not bad from the 95 driver.
Yeah, absolutely cracking lap there from Dylan.
And Brenton Hobson's moved into P4 with Damien Johnstone 5. Briggs 6. Warboys is back into 7th. So he's out a little bit of sequence. He's coming out of the pits at the moment. On an outlap is Warboys. And he's got Scott Gamble in front of him. Scott Gamble having a run again this week for WK&P. And what you see who else we've got on an outlap as well. So what Ken Ladder's up to. Ken sitting in 9th. Got a feeling he's on an in-lap at the moment. Down the long straightaway. And Ken's in like I thought. And so is the car behind. Jump on Dylan. Dylan should be on an in-lap here as well, I think. Of course, time ticking down here. We've only got 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, really only time for one more run for each of these drivers now. By the time they get an out lap, a quali lap and an in lap, that'll see them through to the end of qualifying. But yeah, it's very, very tight at the top of the table there between James Scott and Dylan Rudd.
Extremely, with 0.05 of a second separating them.
Damien Johnston doing a cracking job as well in P5. Good to see Damien up there. Adam Briggs in P6. Adam's enjoyed a good return to form the last few weeks as well. So Synergy boys looking pretty strong with 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers in the top 6.
Yeah, it's cracking effort there. I think Jordan Ross will be pretty happy with that. And of course, Jordan sitting in 8th. And Kenneth Ladder in 9th. So another 2 of them in the top 10 in that list there. Big shout out to Dave Baldock in the chat as well. And Will Wilson, yeah, no, I don't think the Giz is a distant relation of mine. If you've seen my driving ability, you'll wholeheartedly agree. As Warboy's getting a little bit of traffic here as he came through. His own teammate. Harrison Dengate in behind him. But interesting whether Warboys is using Scott for the draft down Conrod. That might be a bit of a team tactic here that we're seeing.
Yeah, I think that would be a very wise decision from the team if they were utilising each other's draft. So, and not too many people you'd want to follow more than Scott Gamble. A lot of experience, really knows where to place the car, and he'd be doing an awesome job for Blake.
A very knowledgeable driver is Scott. And as you can see, we're heading down in half a second, 0.6 a second, so we're getting that draft. Good. Yeah, across the line. See Warboys jump up into P3 with a 2:02.34. Scott Gamble jumped up one spot with a 2:03.1. He moves up into 11th. And Dengate jumps up into 10th. So
Great lead out there from Scott Gamble, using all his experience, and exceptional job from Blake, because it's very easy to get distracted when you're following a car so closely, getting your brake markers right, and Blake really showed what a class driver he is to be able to pull off that lap.
And of course, we've got James Scott on an out lap. And he's got Sean McNamara tucked up right behind him. This will be interesting. Of course, last fast lap we saw of James Scott, he clipped the wall at Forest Elbow.
Yeah, James sandwiched in between a 9.5 train here, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out. We've only a couple of minutes left to run, so this will be the last run for everybody.
Yeah, time ticking down. Minute 10 seconds left. So those two coming out of the pits at the moment, they won't make it. A big shout out to Mary Partridge watching us on Facebook as well. Harrison in the top 10 at the moment. I'm ticking down in qualifying. He's Rudd on track. Dylan Rudd is on track. Dylan Rudd is just in front of these boys. Griffin Gardner in the middle. Griffin yet to set a time too. Griffin, another one of the quick 9.5 guys.
Yeah, Griffin's been in exceptional form in the Scott Series, so I think Griffin had a pretty cracking time here as well.
And you see Scott in the background. Rudd, of course, had a cracking drive last Wednesday night in the Pro Series. See what these boys can do as we come down into Murray's Corner. Does Rudd improve? No, he doesn't. But Griffin Gardner does. He goes into P2. James Scott goes quicker with a 2:01.627. Wow. That is impressive. Hobbo moves into 6th. Warboys shuffled back to 5th with Macca moving up into 4th. So the 9-5 boys have come in late there and bombarded spots 2, 3 and 4. Jordan Ross still on an outlap. Let's jump on with JR, see if he can get himself up there, which I don't think he will. So just trying to see who's still on track. Fair to play. Michael Whiting, the big fish, I think he's still in play. So it's going to be on for young and old. I think we're in for a cracker here. I think the dominance on the first 2 rows that we've seen this season from the Synergy Sim Racing team has been broken. And we're going to see James Scott sitting out on his own.
Yeah, that was a great lead out there from Dylan Rudd, and Griffin Gardner took full advantage, as did James Scott. So, like I said, Griffin Gardner's been in exceptional form, so I expect him to take it to James Scott tonight. And I think we're, like you said, John, we're going to be in for a cracking battle.
I think we're in for an awesome battle. Will Wilson saying, yeah, Rudd, not that far off the pace either. So we've got 3 guys basically sitting under 2:02 as we start seeing them all queue into the pits. And we've basically got that main train that are still driving back. And we've got Dylan Rudd coming in. I think everyone's basically done. And race control coming in at 951.193. McNamara, Hobbs and Gardner. Apparently there was an incident on lap 7. Nothing's been noticed yet. So definitely got this grid sorted, I think. So just wait for the clock to tick over. Paul Young sitting back in 22nd. Christian Smart is looking for him. He's back in 25. So very interesting with these boys down the back here. Going to be a very interesting battle to the final positions. As system ticks over, I think. Any second now. Hopefully. Yeah, I think, Mark, it's the fact that we've seen the dominance of Synergy Sim Racing broken up here on the front row. So James Scott is going to have Gardner, Rudd and McNamara and Warboys to contend with before he gets back to his nearest teammate in Hobson, Johnson and Briggs. So
yeah, Hobson, Johnson, Briggs and Jordan Ross, they're all inside the top 10, so a lot of experience in the Synergy team. But yeah, 9-5 brought their big guns tonight, and they really showed that they're firing on all cylinders. And like I said, Griffin Gardner's been in great form, so James Scott's not going to have it his own way tonight. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting race.
it definitely will be very interesting to see. So have a look at this grid. We've got James Scott, Griffin Gardner, Dylan Rudd is in 3rd, Sean McNamara in 4th, Blake Warboys in 5th with Hobson sharing the 3rd row. And we've got Damien Johnstone in 7th alongside Adam Briggs. Jordan Ross on the 8th row with Kenneth Latta. And then we've got an old WK&P 5th row with Harrison Dengate alongside Scotty Gamble. Great to see Scotty high up the order. And flick up the screen, we've got Thomas Freeman in 13th alongside his fellow teammate, team boss Michael Whiting for Fishing Motorsports. Zach McDonald from 95 Sim Sports in 15th alongside Phase 4 Motorsports Ben Morris. Then we've got 95's Cam Jones alongside Sean Rigby, followed by Vermeulen Motorsports Connor Nixon alongside Craig Schultz from 95. And then we've got Beef Cheeks Michael Angus from Fishing Motorsports in 21st alongside Phase 4's Paul Young. Then on the next row of the grid, we've got Synergy Sim Racing's Matty Mascord, the Nova Castrian, alongside Phoenix Racing's Tim Mulford. And we continue on, fairly big grid tonight. We then have on the next row in 25th, Christian Smart from Synergy Sim Racing, alongside Ash Barella from WK&P. Chris Blanchard from WK&P in 27th, alongside the Curb Fish, Davey Kirby from Fishy Motorsports in 28th, Tom Freer back in 29th, and then of course we've got Sebastian, our chief race steward. Dave Worrell is our other race steward tonight, under AKA Gunter, and then the safety car driver in the Kia is Richard Barella. And yeah, Will, only the one race tonight, mate. 49 lap. It's an enduro. Unlimited fuel, unlimited tyres. It's all happening with these guys to get going and go racing. So looking forward to seeing how this one unfolds. Probably predicting James not to have it his own way for the first couple of laps, Mark.
No, the start here is going to be critical for all these drivers. James starts this season being much improved on last season. So, yeah, he's going to find Griffin Gardner tucked in right behind him on this opening lap if they both get away well. And that draft is going to be very difficult to break.
Yeah, it'll definitely be difficult as the lights come on. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights are out and we're racing. It looks like James has got a good jump. It looks like it might be Macca that's got the slow jump as he moves across the block wall, boys. It's a great jump from James Scott. It's probably the best start he's had all season.
I was about to say, John, that's probably the best start he's had for a few seasons now in our series anyway. He's opened up a good early gap straight away.
Definitely has, and there's already been an incident involving Whiting, McDonald and Angus, so I'm not sure what happened there. I did see Barella off as well. As we continue on, watching this front group for a few minutes. It looks like they've all nicely filed in to a single file pretty early here, playing it safe.
Yeah, pretty calm start for a Bathurst opening lap so far. So all the front runners getting away nicely. Griffin Gardner a little bit loose coming up into McPhillamy there.
Definitely a bit loose, but managed to hang on. A bit of tyre smoke as well. That is cracking. A second lead already to Scott. He has just gone bang. So definitely getting away very quickly here. Wallboys losing off the back of this pack as the cars are all squirming down the track. The 9.5 boys.
Yeah, James Scott weaving a little bit there, just trying to break the toe. Not sure that it actually does break the toe, but he's trying to do everything he can to get into the heads of the drivers behind him, and he has absolutely brained them off the line. But Griffin's been able to pull a little bit back coming down Conrob in that draft. So I expect Griffin to settle in a little bit late, a little bit loose there.
A little bit loose, he's a little bit too wide coming through there with McNamara. McNamara got caught out a little bit going into the chase. Wallboys caught coming out of Murray's as he tucks in behind Briggs. He's going to quickly go back to that start. Have a look at Barella. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Ash. As I don't want everyone seeing it camera. Was it done that? Ash Barella's dropped out altogether, has he? He must have. We've lost Barella already. That's quick. Let's go back to the live pictures. And the other one was Michael Whiting. And Michael Whiting was too wide through Hell Corner with, I think, Zach McDonald. So a little bit of a tap into the fence.
Yeah, a little bit of cold tyres there, and a little bit loose off the curbing, and yeah, they just locked wheels, but both managed to get going.
And of course, perfect timing to look at that. Race Control calling that one a net code with no further action. So, still not sure number Barella, just disappeared. So, anyway, we'll work that one out. Heading down for another incident on lap 2. So let's have a quick look and see what happened. He has got it going. Disappearing. So not sure what's going on. We've got another incident coming in. Go back to live pictures. Definitely something wrong with Barella.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a connection issue there.
So another incident, like I said, just involving Tom Frere as well has been noted. So 707, Tom Frere came back off track. Let's just go to replay. So Tom coming down into the chase, runs a little bit wide, slides back on. I don't think there's too much in that at the moment. And Zach McDonald going slow. Not too much in any of that from what I can see, Mark.
No, it looks fine to me. Tom Frere, another class driver, and doing his usual thing of not in the quali lap and starting from rear of the grid and having a bit of fun trying to make his way through the field. But Tom is a very quick driver, so I expect him to make plenty of places.
Yeah, of course, Tom's already up 7 spots into 22nd. So doing very well. He's run lap 3 of 49 here. And Griffin Gardner already 2.5 back, but already pulled a second out on Rudd. 1.6 out on McNamara. Then Brenton Hobson, the reigning champ that we can say for the last time. The last time we'll see the number 1 on this car for a while, I think, or at least for another 12 rounds of season 7. And he'll be going back to his traditional 88. Of course, Brenton Hobson, first person to be back-to-back champions of the East Coast Series with 5 seasons 4 and 5. He looks quite settled in here, trying to latch onto the back of the 9.5 train in front of him. So making a little bit of ground on McNamara. Good exit there out of Forest Elbow. So a good little train here. Car stopped on track.
Get on the right.
Listen, see if we get word from race control. I think that was Sean Rigby parked there.
It looks like he's got his bonnet missing, so he could well have blown an engine there.
Let's go through, see if I can find my notes if there's anything there. Might just pick James Scott up again. Let's wait and see. We're under safety car.
088, safety car on exit of 1, safety car on exit of 1.
There we go. We are under safety car. We are going to get to see the Vehicle Finance Solution Kia. We have not seen the Kia for a few weeks. And it is back. Richie Barella. Up and running. And I'll take the opportunity while we've got the Kia out to jump in and answer a quick question for Will Wilson. Get the right buttons.
828, permission to tow granted. 828, permission to tow granted.
So, Will, we're back on the 18th of the 7th at the Red Bull Ring for 60 laps is where we are back next season. In round 10 next season, we're actually going to have an Enduro, the Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000. So we'll be back here on a Sunday to do 1000 and a teams event. Should be pretty exciting. We've got a couple of other good tracks lined up as well for the season. So really looking forward to next season already. As Richie Barella leads out James Scott. And I was just going to have a quick look to see if I could find what happened to Rigby.
Safety car ending this lap, safety car ending this lap.
This is coming through McPhillamy down into the S's. A little bit loose, bang, hit the wall hard and clipped again by someone else. And there's someone else behind him. I think it might have been Mulford, might have been caught in the mayhem of that. So this is not a spot going into the dipper where you want to have an incident. And Mulford facing backwards, so that took out a few boys there.
Yeah, that's a shame for Timmy Mulford. He's had a pretty good season with us this season, and yeah, real shame that he's got caught up in somebody else's incident, but that's racing and happens to all of us at some stage, and hopefully Tim can get his fast repair and get back out on track and get back on the back of the train.
Of course, about to say that safety car would be a big assistance here for Timmy. As we continue on under safety car, the Vehicle Finance
Safety car,
Solutions
drive
Kia.
away, safety car, drive away.
As you
Zero
can hear Seb telling him to drive away. Let's have a look at Richie here, see if he can pull it up in the chase. So 4 laps in, still a long way to go. I don't think too many have ducked in for a pit stop, other from Kirby, Young, Freer, Mulford, Whiting, Barella and Rigby. Of course, are the only ones that have been in for the pits so far. As she nicely brings it through the chase. And we get ready to jump back on with James Scott as the safety car pulls away. Nice driving, Richie. As James,
Very professional.
very professional for a Kia driver. And James Scott has them all well bunched up nose to tail. So we sit here, wait to see when James is going to go. I'll just bring the dash up so everyone can see when the acceleration occurs. Going to take them all the way down the Murrays, I think. Of course, that little gap that everyone opened up, now abolished, and James is away. We are back to green flag racing.
Another good jump there from James. Griffin caught napping just a fraction there, and James been able to scoot away to a little bit of a gap straight away. So if it's anything like the opening lap, James will be well ahead by the time we finish this lap. Now, the battle between the other boys who are fighting for the podium for the championship, Christian Smart is in 18th, and I think Paul Young is down around 25th. So Christian Smart is leading that battle at the moment for the championship.
Yeah, of course, Paul. It's not going to show me on that one. I'll get rid of that graphic. Paul has come in and had a pit stop as well, though, somewhere in the middle. So, mind you, 4 laps of fuel. I suppose gets in that little bit further down the track for the stay green flag racing. Griffin hanging on to James a bit more this time.
Yeah, Griffin's really been able to go with James on that opening lap. He's got a good toe up the mountain, and he's sitting in the draft coming down the mountain now. So this is going to be a battle of the minds now.
Yeah, the old breaking into the chase. Dave Worrell can tell you how difficult that is. And it's continuing on, and definitely closed that gap. It's only 0.27. And there is no specific rule about weaving, Will, but you're not allowed to block. So you're allowed to move to try and break the toe, but you're not allowed to move to block somebody. That's one of those grey areas. You've got to be a little bit careful when you do weave.
And definitely can't change directions on the brake.
Yeah. And of course, look out the back. He's got Dylan Rudd tucked up right behind him as well. But Griffin working very hard here. Going back to Mamara, then back to Hobson. Briggs has got past War Boys.
Scott Gamble doing a good job as well. He's up 2 spots and he's just sitting inside the top 10 in 10th place. So good opening encounter from Scotty Gamble.
Yeah, Scotty doing really well here. We'll just jump back. Oh, no, it's Jordan Ross, I think, just in front of him. Or Kenny Ladder, I think. No, Kenny Ladder, I think, was tapping the wall there.
Yeah, Kenny Ladder, and it's taken him half a dozen corners to gather that back up.
Of course, Kenny and Scott, 2 of the leading hard chargers in the V8 vets. So this battle here, they'd be working pretty hard. And good to see Harrison Dengate there in 12th, just behind Damien Johnstone, behind Scott Gamble. So good little battle here. See Scott pulling out of the draft there. Has he got enough? Stay with this for a second. As Gamble goes through. Smart thinking, boys. Ladder has a second look. Oh, managed to pull that up. That was very uncomfortable on top of the curve. Good driving from Ken to get control of that as he peels off into the pits. I'm not sure why that is.
That was a heart-in-mouth moment there. A great car control in the end, because that could have got very ugly very quickly.
That was heart and mouth stuff. As we jump back up the front, have a look at how James Scott's getting on. Still in the thick of this battle here. This group all the way back to Jordan Ross, his top 8 cars, pretty much nose to tail. And 9-5 boys here. We did say we're going to make it hard work for James Scott. That is what they are doing.
Yeah, most definitely are. The Griffin Gardner is really hounding the back of James Scott now, and James will be a little bit frustrated that that early safety car has taken away his lead, because Griffin Gardner seems to have the better of the exchange on this second part of the opening stint. So James probably feeling a little bit frustrated in the cockpit.
Yeah, he's got not afford to be frustrated. That's the catch to everything. Just needs to be focused here, James.
Yeah, I mean, so much experience as well. I'm sure he is a little bit frustrated, but he's got so much experience and he's got so much talent that, you know, he can race with any driver in the V8s in Australia and give a good account of himself. So I expect James just to knuckle down and just do what he does every week and just punch out them lap times that are so consistent.
I think Damien Johnstone's just been involved in a bit of an incident with Dengate, I think. So I might just jump onto the Supercheap Auto replay, have a quick look. What's happened to Harrison's coming down into the chase. Looks like Johnstone's gone off by himself. Dengate has gone off as well, so I'm not sure why we're investigating an incident between the two.
Yeah, Harrison just looked like he went off in sympathy there, but yeah, a little bit unusual. Damien Johnson was well offline there, and unusual incident, that one. But anyway, didn't appear to be any touching, so I'm not sure why race control are looking at it, but I guess they look at every incident and then adjudicate accordingly.
Yep. It's continuing across the top of the mountain here, sitting on board with Adam Briggs. Of course, we talked about Hobson, the man in front, being the season 4 and 5 champion. Adam Briggs was our season 3 champion. So it shows how competitive this series is.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam struggled in the early part of this season, but he's really found some good form again on the back end of this season, driving really well, back to his best, and it's great to see. He's a great guy, super competitive, but just a good, clean racer, and yeah, genuinely good guy and willing to help out other people.
Yeah, one of the things we enjoy about this league is it's competitive, but the boys are also pretty good sportsmen in themselves. This train, absolutely cracking at the moment. Of course, you've got Jordan Ross just tucked up behind, and then Warboy's not too far behind him. And James Scott definitely not stretching his legs out on Gardner like we expected after the safety car restart.
No, absolutely not. And it just goes to show you, John, like these guys who are all super experienced around Bathurst, just goes to show you how many laps these guys have done, because normally we would see James Scott in past races this season just drive off at the front, but this is one track where everybody brings their A game, and that's what's happening tonight.
You need your A game around this place if you're going to drive at these pace these boys too. I know it's one track I've always struggled to do well at.
Yeah, it's one of them tracks that there's a landmine around every corner, and you got to tread very carefully, but you've also got to be committed. So it's very easy to step over the mark around this place. But as we know, it's the track everybody loves to drive, and it's the track everybody wants to do well at.
This is what they are doing really well. Might just drop back, have a quick look at Zach McDonald from 9.5 Sim Sports. He's in a good little battle here with Matty Bascord. A little bit of tyre smoke in front of these lads. Got Damien Johnstone just in front as well. And Harrison Dengate just off the back.
Yeah, we saw earlier Damien and Harrison both lost a bundle of spots going off of the chase a lap or two ago, and now they're in a different battle group, but still battling hard.
And Angus tucks in behind there. Let's go back to another one we haven't looked at. Michael Whiting, he's in a bit of a battle pack as well here with Craig Schultz from 9.5. And Dave Kirby. A couple of the fishy boys here battling away.
Yeah, intense racing right through the field here, John. It's different battle packs, but the racing just as fierce no matter where you are on the grid at the moment.
And Griffin Gardner just got a pass going up into the quarry bend. He's managed to get his way past James Scott. Now James is going to have to work really hard now. Dylan Rudd lining up. He's tucked right up behind Scott. McNamara tucked up in behind as well. Warboys and Ross have managed to get onto the back of this pack now as well. This is a train and a half.
Yeah, now Griffin Gardner starting to stretch his legs. So good move there from Griffin. I'm not sure whether James got a bad exit at the bottom of the hill, but Griffin Gardner's taken full advantage and is really starting to stretch his legs out front.
It's only in lap 10 here at 49, so not even quarter race distance. Being a bit of an endurance style racing here. These guys have got to look after tyres, look after fuel. Still a long way to go.
That feels like that 10 laps has gone very quickly, because the battle at the front or right through the field has been scintillating, and it's just feels like them 10 laps have gone very quickly from my end.
Yeah, it has flown. Let's just jump on the nose cam of Warboys. You can see what that train looks like from the back. Let's jump back up the front. Griffin under a lot of pressure again. Some big moves look like they're going to happen in the back. Warboys gets Ross. And just to make that a bit more exciting, these boys battling. Let's jump back on with Ross. Side by side with Warboys still. And if you have a look, There's the navy blue WK&P car of Scott Gamble about to latch onto the back of this train as well. So Wall Boys Ross fighting have dropped them off a little bit.
Great racing there from Jordan Ross and Blake Wallboys, both battling hard, giving each other enough space to make moves against each other without taking each other out. And yeah, Scotty Gamble now up to 9th place. He's up 3. He's got Thomas Freeman now in 10th. He's up 3 as well. Ben Morris, big mover. He's up 5. Connor Nixon doing a great job, up 7. And Christian Smart up 11 spots from his starting position. So Christian is a very, very capable driver around here, and he's doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, looking really good. Steve Murray, no, I don't know what the fuel burn is around Bathurst. I didn't get a chance to get any numbers out last night because I was doing the official at Perez.
Close to 5 litres a lap around Bathurst from memory, 4.995 or something per lap. So I think you can get about 24 laps from memory out of the tank.
That's pretty much what I remember. It's about 23, I think. 23, 24. I probably don't save as much fuel as you, Mark. This is still cracking, these guys. That train is growing every minute. Thomas Freeman trying to latch onto the back of this as well. And Ben Morris.
So about 22, 23 laps. I think you're right, John. It's definitely an unusual situation from past races this season where we have a train as long as this one on lap 12.
I'm very intrigued to see where this is going to wind up. This is like lap 12 or 49. Still got a long way to go.
And I'm sure there's some serious fuel saving going on in the middle of this pack as well.
Might jump on with Mr. Hobson and have a look.
Yeah, he's one person we know who really knows how to save some fuel.
Of course, we're out on Twitch, so big shout out to all of our Twitch followers, knowing Hobbo's also on Twitch at the moment for his own live stream. So he tucked right up behind the wing of McNamara in front. And of course, the other thing we get around Bathurst, of course, as well, you know, you get focused on that car right in front of you, you then start to lose your own braking references, which can lead to some errors a little bit later on. Get used to being in the train. That sounds like Hobbo's saving a little bit. Okay, it's a big move though. Gets it done on Sean McNamara.
Yeah, definitely a late lunge there, but executed perfectly from Brendan Hobson. Loads of experience again. And he's now going to set sail and try and tuck under the wing of Dylan Rudd in front of him.
So a bit of Synergy Sim Racing support coming up the front to give James Scott a bit of a hand now with a 2x2 battle with the 9.5 lads. And of course Briggs back in. There's something with Dengate on lap 11. Did we miss something? It's got a post-race points penalty.
Yeah, unless there was something with the Damien Johnson incident that we didn't go back far enough.
Here we go, a little bit further back. There's no contact there. So unless the contact was coming into the chase, couldn't really tell you too much. That was lap 7, so it was lap 11, we said, wasn't it? Go back to live pictures. No idea. Nothing's shown up in my list of tricks, so Seb's about to help me out. Blocking coming out of turn 10. Sorry, coming out of the last turn on and contact with the 707. There you go. There's your answer to that. Thanks, Seb. Griffin Gardner in control here. James Scott, Dylan Rudd, Brenton Hobson in 4th, Sean McNamara in 5th. Then we've got Briggs, Ross, Warboys, Gamble and Freeman rounding out our top 10. And this is one long train for an East Coast race. As we start lap 14 of 49, this train now, if we work our way back, keeping it all under a second of each other. We've got Warboys back in 8th. Gamble. Freeman's on the back. Ben Morris is latching on and he's bringing Connor Nixon with him. Of course, Connor from Vermeulen Motorsport. Under the new driver.
Sorry, John. Yeah, Connor doing a great job. He's up 7 spots. So he's really doing an outstanding job. He's in 12th place. So great effort from Connor tonight.
Doing really well. Christian Smart, he's up 12 spots. He's got Cam Jones tucked up behind him, but he's almost latched onto the back of that train as well. That train is about to be 14 cars long, I think, in the next 2 laps. That is impressive for East Coast. Of course, the man is the hard charger, as we said. It's Christian Smart, up 12 spots.
Tom Freer not far behind him. He's up 10. He's currently in 19th. He started very rear of grid. Didn't set a quali lap. And yeah, Tom, as we know, has got extraordinary pace as a driver, and he's starting to make his way well into the field now.
Long way, James Scott. Just pulls out, gets his way past.
Hobson in 2nd as well.
Gardner obviously a little bit slow coming out of Forest then.
Yeah, unless he's had a bit of a moment, but Hobson's got past Dylan Rudd and Griffin Gardner there. The James Scott now has a rear gunner.
Yep. Now we'll see how it plays out. Synergy Sim Racing boys coming to the top. Mind you, this train's still 12 cars long. James probably going. I've sat behind here. I've saved enough. Time to stretch the legs again. Already got that gap out to half a second. McDonald and Mascoud, obviously a little bit of an incident back on lap 12 being noted. No further action. Lap 13, sorry. So James Scott here slowly walking away from Brenton Hobson. Griffin Gardner.
Well, McNamara running very wide there at McMillan.
Managed to gather it up by looks. Allow Briggs to get up on the back of him. Carl looking a little bit twitchy there as well.
Yeah, take a little while, a couple of corners for them tyres to recover, but Sean managed to hang on, didn't lose the spot. A little bit vulnerable now to Briggs' butt.
As continuing down Conrod. Just stay with Adam Briggs for a minute. Oh, no, Sean. McNamara goes for a bit of an excursion across the grass in the chase.
Now you could see he pinched the brakes there, probably just went a little bit deep, and yeah, he dropped a bundle of spots. That'll be disappointing for Sean.
He's very frustrated. So he's 15th at the moment, Sean. I think we might have another problem happening here with McNamara. Slid it into the wall as well. So, not sure how he's got himself there. I think just a little bit wide coming out of Murray's. Clipped as well by someone else. Hopefully he gets...
Sean,
Managed to get it going, so he's okay. Good to see.
he lost a little bit of focus there by the look of it. I hope it's not a technical issue there for Sean.
So, since being noted.
So the interesting thing from here, John, is we've had one safety car. We've got a little bit of fuel saving going on. Is anybody going to be able to get home with just one stop?
That is the question. That makes me think the likes of Paul Young going in for that early stop, and Tom Freer went in for that early stop as well. No, it was only 3 laps of fuel, but that will be enough to get home with one stop. Or one more stop, sorry. Where the guys, everyone else that stayed out has got to do a bit more fuel saving.
Yeah, so they took full advantage of that early safety car, and I think you're right that they can make one more stop and definitely get home as long as they run this tank out. Everybody else is going to be juggling their numbers to see if they can actually get home with one stop.
Of course.
I don't think they can save 4 laps worth of fuel.
It's going to be very interesting, I think, when we start thinking about the strategy side of it. There's another incident between Angus and Dengate. Harrison sounds like he's in the wars tonight. As Tom Freeman's tucked up behind Scotty Gamble. WK&P versus Fishy Motorsports here. What can Thomas do? And Connor Nixon getting past Christian Smart side by side. Smarty's into the fence.
Oh no, that's not what Smarty needed. I don't know. I think Race Control might have a look at that one.
And
No.
Go ahead, 999.
999 calling that one in, of course.
Yeah, turn 2, lap 17.
So jump back up to the front. James Scott's managed to clear out by a second now. And Hobson. Still got Gardner tucked up closely behind.
Copy.
Yeah, I would imagine the way this has started to unfold, Griffin Gardner, Dylan Rudd will be trying to fuel save like crazy now and letting James Scott burn as much fuel as he can.
Like you said, it's going to come down to those fuel numbers. Connor Nixon here, side by side down Conrod with Cam Jones. Cam Jones sneaking one past. What we might do is we might jump on board in the cockpit view with James Scott and just have a listen to see if he is in a bit of a fuel save mode. That James very busy behind the wheel there, but very busy saving fuel as well. So I think they've done the number calcs as well.
Yeah, we know James is not a fan of fuel saving, but probably necessary tonight. So showing all his experience there, like working the wheel hard, being very precise, which is very difficult around here. But I think all these boys have now decided that if they want to get away with one stop, they have to really be miserly on the field as much as they can.
It's definitely typical enduro style. So might just have a quick look at what the weather's doing. So the track is still 25 degrees. It's only 19 degrees temperature. So still very good conditions for looking after the tyres around the track. So there's a bit of cloud comes over as well, so that track temperature is probably going to decrease a little bit shortly. Dave Baldock saying we need someone to do a track guide. Did think about it, just wanted to keep it PG, Dave. Definitely a good little battle here. Dylan Rudd still managing to hang on to the back of Gardner and Hobson. Briggs dropped off a little bit further back to Ross and Warboys. As Damien Johnstone gets past Connor Nixon here. Nice move from Damien. And the other man who's busy, Michael Whiting, tucked up behind Dengate. So he's about to make a move here as well. Looking at the speed difference on track. Behind these boys, Craig Schultz and Michael Angus. Good old beef cheeks from Fishy Motorsports. Getting in front of Craig Schultz there. And Damien Johnstone now tucked up behind Ben Morris. So maybe Damien's going for the I don't save fuel strategy.
Connor Nixon making another move at Griffin's Bend there on Damien Johnson, but runs a little bit deep at the cutting.
That's cost him a little bit, I think. We might go back Cam Jones from 95 Sim Sports. He's at the back of this little group here. He's under a lot of pressure. Matty Mascord in this group.
Yeah, Matty's having a great outing tonight. He's got 7 spots and yeah, battling with some pretty good drivers here. Christian Smart, Cameron Jones, Tom Freer, Damien Johnson, Connor Nixon. So yeah, like another tough battle group. Even though it's mid-pack, it's no easy places to be gained there.
I was about to say there's no such thing as an easy lap around this place anyway. So let alone tucked up behind others. As we jump back up to this battle here for second and third between Gardner and Hobson. Looks like we're all settled in here a bit. Lap 21. Probably going to say with our initial early safety car, I'm going to make a prediction we'll start seeing some pitting at 25.
Yeah, I think if drivers can get to lap 25, they're probably going to get home. So they'll be stretching about as much as they can as Griffin Gardner makes a move on Brenton Hobson. Fuel saving went out the window up the mountain there.
Very racy here. Rudd's having a bit of a... Hobson a bit of a hurry up as well.
James Scott's now out to close to a 2-second lead on Griffin Gardner, so it'll be interesting to see if that starts to come down.
You'd be hoping it does. It's got instant between Schultz and Angus on lap 20. That's got no further action. So race control being kept a little bit busy tonight.
Yeah, this is one track in sim racing in real life where there's no shortage of incidents.
Gardner, nicely as Hobson still tucked in that toe. Very interesting to know what their fuel numbers are. Who's been saving the most? It'd be intriguing to know at the moment. Tend to think this won't be what our top 10 looks like in another 26 laps.
No, still a long way to go around here. A lot of kilometres to cover around this circuit. 26 laps. There's going to be all sorts of scenarios going to unfold, I think, before we get to the end of this one. We can see Griffin Gardner's broken away a bit there from Brenton Hobson. Brenton's now got Dylan Rudd to contend with right up under his rear wing.
You've got to be very careful with the old Hobbo. Let's jump back, have a look at how Tom Freer's getting on. Nicely tucked up behind Damien Johnstone.
I'm about to say Tom Freer's getting on very nicely, up 17 spots, just outside the top 10 in 12th position. So Tom doing a stellar job tonight.
Of course, next season as well, we'll have the Super 2 series running in amongst the mixed. So it'd be interesting to see how some of these guys go who've been racing for a few seasons, who haven't done Scops or Pro Series. Throw them in the mix. Because I think there's only like 4 spots left for next season as well. So if you haven't registered, now probably is the right time to get in and get it done. That's Jones wildly off on the grass in the background there. Managed to collect it up. Done relatively well.
Yeah, good save in the end.
And Ash Barella's had enough. I might just have a bit of a look, see what's happened to Ash on Supercheap Auto replay. Coming down in the chase. Hooks it onto the grass. And might jump up on Hobson. He's lost the back of Gardner now. This opens the door up for Rudd to get a bit more racy.
Griffin Gardner's been able to reduce that lead by about 0.3 over the last few laps. So Griffin's got plenty of pace in that car still.
See Dylan here, right up back behind Hobson. Hobson getting loose. These tyres all getting to the end of the fuel stint. Fuel load's getting light. So Bathurst, one of those hard tracks to build a setup that's going to suit the car when it's got 100% fuel and when it's got 0 fuel and old tyres. Dave Kirby's heading off somewhere as well.
So currently on lap 24, I think we're going to start seeing some pit stops unfold very shortly, and that's going to be a very interesting time in the race to see where everybody's at, how much fuel they've managed to save, how much they need to put in, and whether they can get home from here.
Still a long way to go. He's going to jump on with the wall, boys. He's managed to get himself back up behind Scott again. Sorry, not Scott, sorry, behind Jordan Ross. And Freeman's managed to get past Gamble.
Well, the top 5 have been able to break clear of the next 4. And then we've got Ben Morris, who's a little bit of no man's land on his own in P10, and he's got Tom Freer charging from behind, who's in P11, up 18 spots.
And Freeman gets past War Boys. Tom Freeman from Fishing Motorsports putting a few moves on. Next man in front of him now, Jordan Ross.
Yeah, it's a regular occurrence for us with Tom Freeman. He's always making good ground in the race. Like I said earlier, if he could nail a qualifying lap, he'd be a very tough competitor in the championship. He's a tough competitor anyway, but it would make his life a whole lot easier in terms of putting a championship season together if you could get that qualifying right.
Yeah, you might just find my mouse. Might just have a look what's happened with Cam Jones and Harrison Dengate in lap 24. Coming down Conrod straight into the chase. Oh, Cam into the wall there. That was a pretty hard hit.
It actually looked like a bit of net code there, John. Didn't look like they actually touched, which is another problem for online racing, is the dreaded net code.
And it seems to be a little bit exaggerated this season too, I'm noticing. So we had a bit of fun with it right at Atlanta last week.
Yeah, definitely a big issue in Split 1, that's for sure, in at Road Atlanta in the vet season series.
Answer your question, Will. Yeah, Mark's pretty much patched in on the rotary line, so to speak. Yeah, he's operating off a laptop, not at his usual base, so apologies for the sound not being 100%, but we've still got Mark with us. That's all that matters. And big shout out to Dave Coleman, who says, yep, bloody netcode. I have to agree with that one, Disco. As we see Ross, Gardner and Scott peel off to the pits. First boys are blinking. And Morris as well. And we see where Hobbo goes now. Of course, the track this long as well. It's not like you gain a lap or two of fuel. You're going to save it. You got to save it well. A lot of brushing of walls tonight. Gone to saying there was something fishy about it, the net code. Of course, Gunter is our regular expert on how to have something fishy go on into the chase. I think the old ZH is getting put back together as we speak from his outing during the 12 hour. And I don't think it's been the same in that corner ever since the 6 hour. Great driving here by Hobbo.
Yeah, Hobbo doing an excellent job. The interesting thing for me now is what the undercut is going to be like for Griffin Gardner on James Scott.
It's definitely will be where to see. Griffin Gardner at the moment is back in P11. He's just coming up through the cutting. So keep an eye on that. James Scott, of course, just about to come into pit lane. Brothers in there at the moment with Dengate and Blanchard. So we'll see where Griffin Gardner comes through here.
Very neat entry into pit lane from James Scott there. It's very easy to outrun yourself on that pit entry. So James doing a good job. Oh, a little bit sideways there from Griffin. That's going to cost him big time.
And it's been tipped that the 97 has just gotten an iRacing black flag. So that's a little bit of bad luck for Harrison Dengate. But here comes Gardner. James Scott still in the lane. This is going to be interesting. And of course, the man who I said pitted earlier, Tom Freer, he's still circulating along the big fish, Michael Whiting. As we jump back on with Gardner. Coming down the start-finish straight. And here comes Scott. And here is Gardner. And you can see James Scott. Brenton Hobson's tucked right up behind. He's not too far back. I think James Scott's still about 2 seconds. So I think he didn't lose too much there. Lost a second, I think, there, Mark.
Yeah, I think that mistake with Griffin Gardner coming down through the S's into Forest Elbow probably cost half a second, I reckon, for Griffin Gardner. And James Scott's been able to maintain his lead, and he's probably extended a little bit, actually. So, and then I'm pretty sure James is going to be pretty safe to get home from here without having to save too much. Griffin may still have to push that clutch in a little bit to save a bit of fuel to get home.
Yeah, this bloke here hit it on lap 4, I think it was. So he'll be in the box seat as he continues on. And we might just go quick look at the pit strategy so we can see. Pit it on lap 3 or into lap 3. Lap 4, I've been saying, with Tom Freer. So we saw Scott did 26 laps, which is basically the best the guys have gotten out of that first stint. So Freer's done 24, so I'd probably expect Freer in this lap, bearing in mind that the other guys did have a green flag in the middle. See, Paul Young's made 2 stops. And Mulford's the other guy that's made 2 stops at the moment. So definitely looking to see what Freer, Whiting and Schultz can do. Don't rule out Michael Whiting. He's another one of the big fuel savers, and he's in the pits at the moment. But definitely some battling going on. Scott works his way up the order. Let's jump on with War Boys. He's tucked right up behind Jordan Ross now.
Yeah, these two boys have had a race-long battle, haven't they? They've exchanged places a few times, and they're still glued together.
Definitely a epic battle between these two. These two have had epic battles all season. I know the respect's quite high between the two drivers in conversations I've had with both of them. Of course, both part of the Logitech G Pro series as well. And they tell me Jordan's not too far away from vet's age, if not his vet's age. So look out when he comes in the vets. That'll be another scary moment for everybody, I think. I think these over 50s are starting to get a bit of traction.
Yeah, I'll be pushing for 3-lap races for over 60 soon.
Then we'll jump back up. Griffin Gardner, Hobson. That's still close enough proximity. Dylan Rudd not letting these two run away from him.
James Scott's showing a clean set of heels at the moment. He's got that gap out over 3 seconds at the moment, so no toe going to be there for Griffin Gardner at the moment, as we see Blake Warboy make a move on Jordan Ross there.
Yep, definitely getting the job done. That moves Warboys into 8th. That still leaves Freeman, Briggs, Rudd, Hobson, Gardner, James Scott, and then the man still yet to make a latest stop, Tom Freo. We'll be expecting Tom in this lap, I would imagine. As we jump on board as soon as you sim racer. Comes down into Forest Elbow.
Definitely going to be interesting to see where Tom comes out. He's going to have good fresh tyres, and I think he's going to be well entrenched in the top 10, and he's going to take it to, you know, the people around him in that top 10. So Tom doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see. 35 seconds is a handy lead. Sort of add another sort of 3 seconds back with Gardner, 3.5 seconds back. And then Briggs by that stage, another 2.5, 5. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out in front of War Boys. As he enters the pits, jump back onto that Hobson Rudd. Gardner trying to break that slipstream a little bit.
Albo's got a good run there.
Ooh, oh no! The chase catches him out again. Let's watch this one from the Supercheap Auto replay from the chopper. Almost lost it, managed to get control.
Again, hard to tell if there was actual contact there or whether it was net code, but Dylan Rudd is the big winner there.
Not wrong. Let's have a look at Tom Freeman. He's just getting it started again. But James Scott sitting quite handy out there. Might just go back, have a look at another little bit of a battle that's brewing. These three boys here. As Tom Frere comes out in 9th. So not too bad of an effort there. Up 20 spots from where he started, tucked in behind Ross. As we can see, the big fish, Michael Whiting, keeping the pressure on in front of him.
Yeah, Michael Whiting, Connor Nixon, on head to toe here. Michael doing a good job. Connor doing a good job as well. He's up 3 spots. Christian Smart just in front of him. We saw Connor and Christian tangle at Griffin's End earlier, and Christian's been able to get back past and he's up 10 spots. So some big movers, but Paul Young is 3 spots in front of Christian Smart at the moment, and he's up 10 spots as well. So that early pit stop from Paul Young was great thinking on the run, great strategy, and at this stage it's advantage Paul Young.
As continuing on, he's going to have a little bit of a look a bit further up the grid. Going to jump back on Hobbo. He's now got Briggsy tucked right up behind him. And Griffin Gardner a little bit further back.
So we've still got 18 left to go, so there's still a lot to unfold here. James Scott looking pretty comfortable with a 5.5 second lead at the moment, but as we saw earlier, with a one safety car, that can evaporate in the blink of an eye.
Not wrong. Timmy Mulford's involved in an incident with Michael Angus. Let's quickly go Supercheap Auto replay. This again into the chase. Again, a little bit of difficulty pulling it up with a bit of room. Good of the boys. Keep the race control and Gunter busy. Keeps him out of the chat. Nice race penalty for unsafe rejoin there for Timmy Mulford. Briggsy gets right up, pushes his point across the top of the mountain. Doesn't seem to have the legs down the bottom, no. Of course, open setups in this league, which means everyone's got to do their own setup. So you get some guys with a lower wing, some guys with a higher wing, which means be quicker across the top, but don't have the legs down the straight.
We saw Brendan Hobson there get a little bit sideways at Reed Park, and Briggsy was able to get right underneath his rear wing. So it'll be interesting to see if Briggsy can make a move down here at the end of Conrod.
And of course, Hobson now officially under investigation for the incident of the chase with Griffin Gardner. Another one for race control to keep busy with. Just doesn't seem to have the legs at the end of Conrod. Griffin Gardner starting to latch onto the back of these two as well.
Yeah, but this group still got Dylan Rudd in sight. James Scott's now extended his lead out to just over 6 seconds from Dylan Rudd, but these three here aren't that far away from Dylan Rudd, so still a lot to play for here, and the podium spot not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination at the moment.
Paul Young into the pits again for those ploughing along at home. The man who's second in the championship. Christian Smart up 11 spots in 14th.
Would that be Paul Young's third pit stop?
Correct. Correct, yep.
Well, that's definitely advantage Christian Smart now, because Paul Young's dropping outside the top 20 at the moment. So Christian Smart in 14th. I'm not sure what the points difference was in the championship, but at this stage it's advantage Christian Smart.
Well, of course, I believe Ash will be, or Richard and Seb will be in after the race to let us know who won the championship, how the podium's finished up. Adam Briggs got the run this time. Ooh, Hobson, what are you going to do here? He's going to nicely tuck in behind Gardner, right up behind Hobson. So that moves Adam Briggs onto the podium.
Yeah, Adam's had a big return to form the last few weeks, and it's great to see. We saw Brenton having to go a little bit defensive into the last corner to hold Griffin Gardner at bay. Be interesting to see if Adam Briggs can stretch his legs a little bit now and build a little bit of a gap.
Definitely opened it up a little bit. Might just jump back, check out War Boys. He's tucked up behind Jordan Rossi. So these two have been having an epic battle together all night.
Yeah, last time we checked on these two, it was Blake Warboys had just made a move on Jordan Ross, and obviously Jordan Ross has returned serve and got back in front. So, yeah, these two boys are having a real ding-dong battle.
Jordan getting plenty of side slip there, coming through Big Felony. We might jump back, have a look at Connor Nixon. He's got a little bit of a battle behind him with Whiting. And in front of him, of course, Christian Smart still. Of course, Connor racing for Vermeulen Motorsports. New team that we're going to have with us next season. So looking forward to that.
Race control has adjudicated the incident between Hobson and Griffin Gardner as a racing incident, so play on for them two boys.
And Timmy Mulford's been involved in some sort of incident, so I might have a quick look on the Supercheap Auto replay, probably at the wrong time there. Timmy, Zach McDonald sitting behind him. Tim, a little bit of a tap again for McDonald as well.
Yeah, we saw Timmy getting a little bit sideways and losing some momentum there, and Zach just ran up the back end of Timmy. I don't think there's much in that, to be honest, with him losing a bit of momentum caught Zach out. No real fault of Zach there.
And these boys here getting a bit twitchy. Chris Smart, very twitchy in here. Looks like Connor Nixon's going to be through.
Yeah, we saw these two boys have an incident there early on in the race, and almost had another one there. So glad to see they both survived and play on.
And Connor starting to stretch his legs a little bit. Smart and Whiting. Left to play on behind there. Sean McNamara, he has joined the chat.
I'm sure he'd rather be in the car still, but welcome to the chat, Sean. Bad luck on the way your race ended up, but the team is going pretty strong tonight, so let's just hope that the boys can keep fighting all the way to the end.
And of course, Griffin Dillon sitting in second for 9.5 Sim Sports behind James Scott. Adam Briggs from Synergy Sim Racing in third. Griffin Gardner from 9.5 Sim Sports sitting in fourth. Followed by Hobson, Freeman and Ross from Synergy. Warboys from WK&P in eighth. Tom Freer from Synergy and Ben Morris round out our top 10. Of course, Ben from Phase 4 Motorsports.
Yeah, good to see Ben up there in the top 10, up 6 spot. Tom Freer up 20. He's our big mover tonight. Matty Masgood doing a great job as well, up 10. Christian Smart up 10. Ash Barella up 8. So some big movers. Tom Freeman in 6. He's up 7. So, yeah, plenty of big movers there tonight.
And no further action for the Mulford Kirby incident we looked at a little while ago. War Boys and Ross, these two still going for it. Still throw 1/10 over them.
It looks like they've closed the gap quite a bit to Tom Freeman as well.
Of course, fuel still be a little bit of an issue for these guys in this second run. I think Tom Freer's the only one I'd probably say he'd be comfortable with fuel.
Yeah, just looking at Tom Freer's behind Blake Warboys, he was about 4.5 seconds, but that's blown out to 5.5, 5.2. So Tom Freer not able to make any inroads at the moment, even though these boys in front of him are battling lap after lap and have been the whole race. So thought Tom might have been able to make some ground here, but he hasn't been able to.
Just testament. Of course, last lap for Warboys was a 2:04.76. Freer was a 2:04.5. So there is making a little bit of ground, but not enough to close that substantial gap. Of course, lap 36 of 49. So laps are ticking down here on these guys. Another no further incident. Because good little battle on track. Here's this one, and then the other battle, of course, is this Whiting battle. Connor Nixon, Christian Smart, Michael Whiting. I reckon the big fish will be sitting here just saving a little bit of fuel, so he's got enough to battle, push on at the end, I think. Was Christian a wise driver? So it's Michael Whiting.
Yeah, Christian able to make the move there at Griffin's. Seen these boys exchange places there a few times during the course of the race, and Michael Whiting was able to sneak through as well. So Connor Nixon dropped 2 spots in one corner, which will be a bit frustrating, but he's still right on the back, and he'll be looking to get right up under the wing for a tow down Conrod and looking to get a move done at the chase, I'm sure.
Oh, so that's slightly better drive for Whiting. Not that gap close enough to get a good tow.
Yeah, the advantage for Whiting here is he's getting a tow as well, so it makes it difficult for Connor to get that much more speed. So we'll have to wait another lap for this one to unfold.
And Nixon still tucked in there. Can you get a good run here out of Murray's? Doesn't look like he's going to latch on well enough. As we just jump up back on that Jordan Ross battle. That's gotten a bit tight. Oh no, that's a close off. That's an incident. Back straight on the replay.
Go ahead, 025. Safety car board to flag, safety car board and flag.
That is a big hit. Connor Nixon has clipped that, and that's brought out a safety car. Might just have a look at that from the Michael Whiting point of view. So Whiting gets that clip. He's off, bounces off the fence. Looks like his car stays together. He's not going to get going too. I reckon he might be stuck on the tyres there.
Yeah, I think I think Magnet's got him, unfortunately. That'd be very frustrating for Michael there. Connor obviously making an error in judgment there with his brake marker and just carrying way too much speed. So a bit of a frustrating end. But that 8-second lead that James Scott had is just about to evaporate.
Yeah, and of course James picking up the safety car. And we look a bit further back, we can see Hobson, Freeman, Warboys all gone in for new tyres. Possibly a splash and dash.
Yeah, there won't be a fuel problem now for the leaders, that's for sure. But yeah, fresh tyres is interesting play at this stage.
Of course, probably looking, I'd say, we're probably going to have an 11, maybe a 10-lap dash to finish this off. And of course, the Vehicle Finance Solution Kia comes out one more time. Have a little break for these guys, but the course now becomes a sprint race to get home, and that increases the tensions again.
Yeah, so Brenton Hobson in for fresh tyres, which will make him very tough to hold back in this final 10 laps. He's too far back to get to the front of the race, but he's certainly going to annoy, I think, 7th, 6th, 5th, possibly 4th as well. So be interesting to see what Brenton's able to do from here.
Definitely going to be a battle for Hobbo, I think.
Who else pitted there? Thomas Freeman, Blake Warboys?
Yep, Freeman, Warboys, and Schultz, I think, and Gamble. So
Craig Schultz having a cracking race as well. Good on, great work from Craig to be up in 14th spot.
we just throw up the graphic. You'll see Warboys hasn't quite ticked over yet. So 11-lap old tyres. Just trying to play them out.
Safety car train, please stay to the right. Safety car train, stay to the right.
So what was a very, very comfortable lead for James Scott has now turned into get your brain back into race and defend mode for the next restart. We're going to have one more lap under the safety car here. So, yeah, it's going to be a 10-lap shootout.
Definitely looking at that at the moment. So it'll be very interesting to see. James Scott, the champion-elect. I think we're just about past 75 race distance. He's probably done the deed to get home with the championship. But the battle's still on. Dylan Rudd in second spot. Adam Briggs, Griffin Gardner, Jordan Ross, Tom Frere, Morris, Brenton Hobson in 8th, Johnstone in 9th, 10th is Tom Freeman. So getting these guys that have done the second stop. And then Blake Warboys, Matty Mascoud. Christian Smart is up 12 spots in 13th, which is good. Young, the other protagonist for the podium of the championship, is down in 18th. So definitely going to be looking to see how this championship plays out. So I hope Richie or Asher got the computer going, because we're going to need some clarification, I think, because there's not going to be much in it.
No, definitely not going to be much in it. Paul Young had dropped outside the top 20 when he made his third stop, but he's been able to make some ground back up on Christian there. So Christian on old tyres, Paul Young on fresher tyres, and he's not that far behind.
There's definitely a lot to roll out still here. As Kia safety car brings them up Mountain Straight, going green at the end of this lap. Hey, Richie Barella doing a good job, as he has all season. Haven't seen the safety car for the last couple of races, and we get 2 at Bathurst. Course lap 39 or 49. And then the old adage that safety cars bring safety cars. Will we see it one more time? That is the question. Shout out to Mark Dial, who's jumped in the chat as well. Good old Jimmy Ellis. Shout out to Simon as well. Complimenting our Kia safety car. Of course, the safety car out because of the incident with Connor Nixon.
Safety car train, reduce speed 80 kilometers an hour. Safety car train, reduce speed 80 kilometers an hour.
And Sean Rigby, the last man trying to get onto the back of the train. It's been an epic season, been an epic race, but I think the final chapter still isn't written. So definitely interested to see what happens in this last 10 laps.
Safety car, please drive away from the field. 0 at 8, maintain 80 kilometers an hour. 0 at 8, maintain 80 kilometers an hour.
Richie being given the go-ahead to pull away from our chief race controller, Seb. Our old Kia maxed out. And looking forward to what James does this time. James, of course, last time took him all the way down to Murray's. Go to the dashboard here. Get that up so we can watch James in a second. Let's make sure Richard safely puts the car away.
In the lane, 0 at 8, you have control.
Middle of Conrod's where the leader is. Nice work, Rich. You have Dave driving. Might be Dave driving. And James Scott coming downhill into the chase. And he has 24 V8 supercars lined up behind. Rudd getting right under his wing this time. Keen not to miss the jump like he did last time. Still tucked up behind. Going to carry him a long way into Murray's, I think. Definitely rolling in. And James is away. Green flag racing. That is a good start from James Scott. Of course, Adam Briggs putting a little bit of pressure on Dylan Rudd, but copping a little bit back in return from Griffin Gardner. Jordan Ross tucked up in the train behind that. Tom Freer up 23 spots in 6. Great drive from him tonight. And of course, Hobson, Morris, Johnson round out our top 10 with Freeman moving up 1 spot. And something else already been called in the race control.
Another good jump there from James, but Dylan's been able to recover that restart as well, and he's not far off the back of James. And Adam Briggs has got Griffin Gardner just behind him, so Briggsy was looking fairly comfortable in P3 prior to the safety car, but now he's got a very fast Griffin Gardner to contend with for that final spot on the podium. You can see Brent and Hobson, they're all over the back of Tom Freer on them fresh tyres, so Tom's going to be hard-pressed to hold out Hobbo, I reckon.
I was just about to say, keep an eye on Hobson, Warboys, Freeman and Gamble for these last couple of laps. They're the ones coming in with the hard-charging fresh tyres. But Hobson at the moment, tucked right up behind his teammate Tom Freer. Like Tom peels that out of the way. So definitely getting in towards the end here. Hobson with his fresh tyres. Warboys the next one with the fresh tyres, but that was a good lap from James Scott. As you can see, he's managed to pull out a little bit of a lead and going with a purple sector lap for that one with a 2:02.64. That is flying across at Bathurst on half-life tyres, half-life fuel. We'll just pass that. He is doing a magnificent job, and a post-race penalty for Nixon. So the incident with Michael Whiting that brought out the safety car has seen a post-race points penalty pop up.
Yeah, no real surprises there. It was a pretty big impact, and I'm sure Connor will be a little bit annoyed with himself making such a big mistake and taking out another competitor, because I know none of these drivers intentionally do things like that, but it was a big mistake. He really missed his brake marker then and went in far too deep and ended Michael Whiting's race. Well, not ended his race, but ended his run.
Yeah, definitely not good when your run's been ended. But James Scott, he's managing to eke this lead out on Rudd ever so slightly. But Adam Briggs is keeping that pressure on Dylan. What can he do? He'll definitely be in the draft this time down Conrod. Probably not getting the same effect as Dylan Rudd with James Scott. So can he use this draft to close that gap? And of course, we have 8 laps to go. Warboys. He's out. He's locked up. Oh, just disappeared. Warboys literally got sent to oblivion.
Another net code.
Big time net code.
Am I allowed to rejoin after being sent into oblivion and towing?
Negative. Affirmative.
Okay, back to live pictures. So Adam Briggs tucked up behind Rudd, not sure. I believe they might be allowing Warboys back on track. We'll wait and see. That'll be a big blow to his championship. He was sitting in about 5th, I believe.
Yeah, real shame there for Blake, especially this deep into the race for something like that to happen. He battled hard all race. We saw him and Jordan Ross have an absolutely cracking battle the whole race, and for it to end that way is probably leave a little bit of a bitter taste in your mouth. But Blake's a serious sportsman, and he'll take it on the chin, and he'll just get on with it and move on to next season.
Yeah, already thinking about it, knowing Blake, and been working very hard, of course, with Scott Gamble on the setup for this evening, so won't go to waste. We're back here in 10 rounds' time, so we'll see what happens then. Jordan Ross, though, he's sitting in 5th. Question asked about the second place in the championship. I believe it's not locked in. I think the battle between 2nd and 3rd is real. and fierce at the moment. So I think with Christian Smart having a few spots on him, I'm not 100% certain because I didn't get the latest spreadsheet this week from Ash, but yeah. Thomas Freeman here battling away with Ben Morris.
Yeah, Christian Smart, he's in 11th. He's up 14 spots for the night. Paul Young's in 15th. He's up 7 spots. So them boys are in a pretty tight battle for second and third in the championship. So that's not going to be decided until the end of lap 49.
And Jordan Ross, Brenton Hobson going toe-to-toe up the mountain straight. These boys pushing every inch of the car, just brushing walls at the moment.
So we saw there Brenton Hobson's been able to get past Tom Freer and Jordan Ross on their fresh tyres, and he'll be now taking aim at Griffin Gardner if he can latch onto the back of that pack. And if he can get past Griffin, then he'll be in with the shot of trying to step onto the podium. So great strategy there from Brenton and taking fresh tyres onto that last safety car.
Very clever play. And of course, Tom Freeman did the same as well, so keep an eye on him. A bit further back. But been a great drive from the Signature Sim Racing boys here at the Manson. He's behind these guys. Tom Freer is up 22 spots, sitting in 7th. Great drive from Tom. And might just jump back up on Dylan Rudd. James Scott still walked away. Still got a bit of clean air between him and Briggs. It's allowed.
Yeah, James. Sorry, John.
I was going to say that's allowing, of course, Griffin Gardner to hang on to the back still too. But you can see Hobson's closing that gap every inch of the way around. Hobson's last lap was a 2:03.7. So it was not too bad timing. And a drive-through has come in. I missed what car number it was, but there was a drive-through for the Wall Boys incident.
Was that Ben Morris?
Yeah,
possibly?
Morris. Yeah, Morris. Sorry, yep. Let's ask Seb if he can get that to put full names, not just initials. That would, if I could do that, that would be awesome. As, of course, these guys have been racing for 100 minutes now. Oh, he's off! Rudd! Oh, managed to collect it. That usually doesn't end well at McPhillamy.
No, very easy to get spat back out the other side and across on the other side of the track into the wall. But Dylan showed good composure there, good car control in the end to save that. And it's allowed Briggsy to make a little bit of ground, although Briggsy just made a mistake into Forest Elbow, which has given Griffin Gardner the run. And
Tom Freer and Jordan Ross have had an accident. So we're just going to go to that replay. We'll just see what happens with Griffin here first. Too wide. And it looks like Griffin's going to get through. He's going to hang on to that. He's got through on Briggsy. Briggsy tucked right in behind again. See, Hobbo is still coming. That gap for Hobson is now come down half a second. These two fighting away here still. Of course, Jordan Ross is bundled down to 19th. Tom Freer still sitting in 6th. And we're just going to go quickly to the Supercheap Auto replay and have a look what happened with these two. It's under investigation, or been noted, sorry. Up into the cutting. Bit of a dive, I think, from Freeman. Ross probably didn't see him coming in there, probably didn't expect him to come in there. And nice holding of the brakes. Bit of circle work there from Ross. And away we go. So leave that one up to see if it gets reported or investigated. Yeah, there you go. It's being investigated. As we jump on with Gardner.
Briggs is back past Gardner as well,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure.
Sorry, Griff. Yeah, not sure what's going on there. Sorry, go back to live pictures. So I think that was a stock standard pass. No, we had the rut off. Yeah, that was a stock standard pass. So let's have a quick look at that overtake. That was coming down into Murray's. Managed to hold him out.
Yeah, that pre Jordan Ross incident just looked like Jordan went a little bit deep going into the cutting, and Freo thought he was clear to get through, but Jordan did come back across onto the racing line. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how race control read that one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Well, yeah, if you redress, they look a little bit less harsh on you in the league at the moment. So they've called that actually net code, which is interesting, the Ross Freeman incident. So these boys battling. Hobson now is well and truly on the back of Briggs with those fresher tyres. Interesting to see as we start lap 46 with 4 laps to go. What can Hobson do here? So they've got about 8 minutes of racing with these fresh tyres.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake coming out of the turn one there from Hobson, so he's lost a little bit of ground, but I'm sure he'll make it back up with the toe going down the mountain this time round. The 46 of 49, not far to go now. James Scott with a 3.5 second lead over Dylan Rudd. So James is finishing off his championship in style at the moment.
Of course, the most winningest driver coming into this season. Not just the most winningest driver, the most winningest driver not to have won a series. But he's about to put his name on the board tonight. Of course, season 1, Blake Warboys. Season 2 was Corey McFarlane. Then we had Adam Briggs, the car just in front of us here. In season 3. And then the car we're on board at the moment, Brenton Hobson. Season 4, season 5. And then James Scott, the leader of this race, will be the season 6 champion of East Coast. As you can see Gardner using all the curb there and some, getting it well and truly on 2 wheels. A few little battles. Christian Smart's got himself into the top 10. Ben Morris going in with a drive-through. Christian Smart moves into 9th, up 16 spots. Another cracking drive there, Mark. The bloke in 8th, the Novocastrian, Matty Mascot, up 15 spots.
Yeah, great to see Matty having a great drive tonight. He's spent a fair bit of time out of sim racing with work and family commitments, and it's great to have him back. And yeah, he's had a cracking drive tonight. We probably haven't seen him much on camera, but make no mistake, Matty Mascot has delivered the goods tonight.
Yeah, I think the Synergy Sim Racing boys will be happy with Matty. Of course, Scotty Gamble in the top 10 as well. Only second East Coast race. Man in between Smart and Paul Young. Paul Young's managed to get himself up into 11th. Christian.
Yeah, great comeback from Paul Young too. Like this battle was coming right down to the wire for second, third in the championship.
Well, definitely not much in it. But we jump back here with Griffin Gardner. You can see we've got Brenton Hobson now all over the back of Briggs. Those fresher tyres have got to be starting to pay off now. The old tyres of Briggsy's would have to be starting to be singing a little bit. Hobbo still hasn't managed to get the job done. A little bit of team strategy might come into play. Briggsy might let him go. Have a crack at Gardner, see if he can move himself up under the podium as we start our penultimate lap. Let's just move forward. James Scott, he's our race leader. He's long gone up the hill. See Dylan Rudd in the background, heading up Mountain Straight. Dylan's got a reasonably good gap away from the battle pack for third with Gardner, Briggs and Hobson.
Michael Whiting's done a great job as well to get back to 15th after he got collected by Connor Nixon, which caused the last safety car. So well done to Michael Whiting from Fishing Motorsports.
I'll tell you what, this driver of the day is going to get hard because have a look at this battle pack we got here. Have a look who's in 13th, up 13 spots.
Yeah, that's Barella. Then we've got Chris Blanchard as well,
Yeah.
who hasn't run with us very often. This could be only his second or third race, possibly. He's up 11 spots. Paul Young up 11, Christian Smart 16, Matty Mascord 15, Tom Freer 23.
Definitely some good drives there. A few boys unlucky. Damien Johnstone, one of them. Big thank you to Damien in the chat. Thanking the boys, thanking us, Mark. As I always say, it's these boys on track that make it entertaining for us, that keep us coming back. And of course the chit chat in the chat there. There we go. Sean McNamara is calling driver of the day already, Mark. Reckons it should be Ash Barella. Big call.
No, it's a tough one to pick tonight.
Definitely is. As we are on the white flag, this is the last lap. Surprisingly, Hobson hasn't got the job done against Briggs. Briggs now going all out. This will be very interesting last lap here. All out to try and get past Gardner. Gardner defends well going into Griffins. This is where my heart rate actually hit 160 beats a minute walking up this section of the track. And then realised I had to get through the cutting and up to the top part here. Yes, James, yeah, Tom's got driver of the day quite a few times. Tom regularly starts at the rear. Gives himself a bit more of a challenge as he moves up into 6th. Tom definitely battling with Thomas Freeman here. Freeman's managed to get past him.
Yeah, both these boys have won driver of the day quite a few times this season. So, and they've delivered again tonight. But yeah, there's still quite a few other drivers in there that probably aren't regular contenders. So that might sway our decision, John.
Yep. So, Matty Mascord in the top 10. That's a fantastic effort too. As we jump on with this man, James Scott. As he comes down, Scott Gamble shuffling back, not sure what happened there. As he comes down into Murray's corner for the final time. Congratulations, champ. James Scott, you are the season 6 champion. You are the winner of Bathurst. You have conquered all, son. Congratulations. Dylan Rudd's going to bring it home in 2nd, just from Griffin Gardner in 3rd, Briggsy in 4th. Hobbo will bring it home in 5th, Thomas Freeman in 6th. Tom Freer was up 22 spots in 7th. Chris Smart is going to bring it home up 17 spots in 8th. Great drive from Christian. Paul Young is going to round out the top 10 with Matty Mascord in between, up 14 spots. And of course, 10th is Paul Young, up 10. And 11th, Ash Barella, up 15 spots. Craig Schultz, Michael Angus, he's parked it up. And
Yep, 100%.
and Scotty Gamble's still going somewhere.
So we got the 2 safety cars up the top.
And I'm just going to have a quick look. We've had an accident in the last minute here. Not sure what these two have gotten up to. Might just sit on this for a minute anyway, as we wait for our podium guys to come in and have a chat. We've still got to make that decision about drive for the day. I really don't know what we're going to do there, Mark.
I think Sean's right. I think Ash has done an outstanding job tonight. He's not normally in contention for drive of the day, and I think he's done an exceptional job to finish just outside the top 10, and he's a thoroughly deserving person to collect that award tonight. There's so many people in contention for that award tonight, but I think it's only fair we give it to somebody who doesn't usually get the chance to contest that, and that's who I'm going to vote for my drive of the day.
Yep, we'll go with Ash. Like you said, a very worthy person for it.
Also, probably doesn't get to do as many laps as he would like, being a
administrator,
committee administrator of the league, does a lot of work behind the league, and I think, it's a pretty fitting way for him to finish his season. And I think nobody would begrudge him getting drive of the day. I want to just say a massive congratulations to James Scott, thoroughly deserving champion, incredible talent behind the wheel. Dylan Rudd, Griffin Gardner, both drove exceptionally well tonight, as did Adam Briggs. Late strategy call from Hobbo to take fresh tyres. We saw a lot of bad luck as well for drivers, but it's been a great way to finish the season, and really looking forward to a great season next time around, because the calendar next season is very, 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 very enticing indeed.
Absolutely looking forward to next season. I think we're going to be in for a cracker starting on the 18th of July with the Red Bull Ring, 60 laps. Look at these Kias go. They both make it over. Surprised I even got over the fence. Try and go. You others. Anyway, we'll come back to that.
I'm going to say goodnight, John, because I'm on piggyback and my headphones are dying.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure working with you again this season. Congratulations to the podium. Congratulations to Ash, and look forward to seeing everybody for a great opening to season 7, I think it is, next time round.
Yep, absolutely looking forward to it. And a big thank you to Mark as well. I know you're on other duties tonight, so to step in and make time to do what you're doing, greatly appreciated. And the efforts you've put in all season, mate, makes my job 10 times easier when I'm trying to speak, direct, and do everything else. And I really appreciate what you do for me, mate.
No worries, mate. Pleasure. And I'm going to jump on YouTube to listen to the interviews.
No worries. Cheers, Mark. Mr. James Scott, congratulations, mate. You are the Season 6 Supercheap Auto East Coast champion.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Obviously, always good to finish the season out at Bathurst. It's always a great track. Provides some great racing. And a couple of safety cars, and the way 250k is just the way it works around here. That's right on the edge of the fuel save or not. Provided some really good racing tonight.
Yeah, very much a challenging race. Looking at it, like safety cars definitely kept you honest. You got a good breakaway there in that first stint before the first safety car. So in the second stint, were you doing a fair bit of fuel saving or?
No. I was saving, but it wasn't much. I don't think it was costing me really any of that time. I knew that if I went, I think Griffin pitted 1 lap before, and a few of us went that extra lap, and I knew if we could go that extra lap, I could pretty much go flat out to the end. So, I was fuel saving a bit, but I wasn't really slowing me down all that much. Only maybe 2/10 a lap or something.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good, mate. So, again, congratulations. Great effort. Joined a list of some big names. And as the bloke who's always had the title as the most winningest driver in the series, you're finally a champion. So, congratulations again. And Dylan, second, mate. That was a tough race, that one. It looked like you worked really hard.
Yeah, it was a tough race and didn't have the pace for James. He was fast as always, and yeah, throwing it home in P2.
That was a good drive. How did you find the safety cars? Did they affect your strategy a bit?
I don't. Not really. No.
Not really. And of course, the man who was in third, Griffin Gardner. Congratulations, mate, on getting on the podium. Are you getting worried about Hobbo coming with the fresh tyres?
Yeah, I was definitely watching it after the restart. Thought he might get through just a little bit quicker than he did, but yeah, I thought at the end there, passing Briggsy was going to be close, but ended up okay at the end.
Yeah, definitely did well, mate. It was quite a little bit of luck. A little bit of luck always goes a long way too when you sort of have some minor side-by-side racing, which was great to see from his boys tonight. Like the respect for each other for 99% of the racing was absolutely sensational. And of course, drive of the day, this bloke up 15 spots in 11th. I don't think we've seen him this high before, so he's probably suffering from vertigo. Well done, Ash.
Yeah, no, thanks.
How did you find that race, mate? And I think we've lost his microphone. he's had technical troubles with everything in the last 3 weeks. Now it's his headset. You back? Going.
Yeah, shocked myself, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, no, that was pretty challenging.
That's good. Anyway, we might just. No, I think we've lost Ash.
First 3 laps.
I think we'll leave Ash there. We'll go back to you, James. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously all the guys at SSR, Bush, Shane, Jared, cars are feeling awesome. Obviously all the other guys in the team as well. I think we've really made a step forward these last little bit. Probably was a bit off in the middle of the season, but I think we're on the right path again. And obviously all our sponsors, Watercraft Performance Centre, Parramatta Isuzu, Works Racing Components, West End Motor Group, Dr. Epoxy, DM Cinematography, and obviously you guys for the broadcast, and the guys who run the league as well.
Thanks, mate. And going to do rock, paper, scissors between you, Dylan and Griffin. Anyone let you want to, either of you two boys can do the team shout out. I might let you do it, Griffin.
Yeah, just thanks to Deal and all the guys for all the work this year. It's been really good. Just a thanks to our sponsors, Racecraft, Turn In Race Apparel, RSW Graphics, Racing Ears, and Prestige Cinematography.
Thank you. Are you back with us, Ash, or? No, it's a flash there, no noise.
Hello.
Yeah, you back with us?
Hello?
Yeah, no, can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you seem to be dropping out when you talk, mate. Yeah, we'll move on. I've got Seb in here as well from Race Control. Just want to say a big thank you to Seb as well for the work that the boys do down in Race Control and with the safety car and everything else. So big thank you to you guys. Not the easiest job in the world to be live race control. So yeah, absolutely awesome stuff, mate.
Thank you very much, and big thank you to all the drivers out there. We've had a long season. We've had a few conflicts and other issues that we've had to deal with along the way, but overall the season has been absolutely fantastic. All of us in the race control have really enjoyed the racing, and the quality is just proven itself out on track. The racing's doing the talking. We're really enjoying seeing everyone out there, and we're super excited for season 7.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to season 7, kicking off on the 18th of July at Red Bull Ring, then Watkins Boot, Imola, Belle Isle, Donington, Road America, Barcelona, Sandown, round 9 at Road Atlanta, and then on the 17th of September, we go and do the Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000. So definitely going to be a cracking season next season. Did come back, Ash? Any luck this time? No, I don't know what's going on there. On that note, I just want to say a big thank you again to Mark Duggan, who sits in with me and co-hosts everything that we do. Big thank you to Race Control, which I've mentioned. Big thank you to Ash and Josh, who administrate the league. And, of course, a huge thank you to everyone who's jumped in the chat and watched the broadcast. We're averaging reasonably good numbers every week, which is great to see people coming back to watch. And usually plenty of good chat in there. Big thank you, of course, to, as I said, to the other guys in Race Control, Dave and Richard. But the guys I really want to thank the most are all of our drivers. I think we've only got 4 or 5 spots left for next season, so if you haven't registered, you better get in quick. But a big thank you to all the drivers. It's you boys that make it all entertaining for us. And that's what has everyone coming back to watch and everyone coming back to drive, because the standard of driving and the way you boys all drive around each other with respect is first class. And on that note, Smokey asked me about championship standings. I haven't got the spreadsheet in front of me. I know James Scott has won the series. I believe off the top of my head, I think Paul Young has done enough to be second. And I think with drop rounds, I think Christian Smart might be enough to get himself home in third. But I need to be confirmed with that one to play out. And, yeah, so back to what I was saying before, we'll get those up. We'll get the championship up and running. Get those results out to everybody ASAP. And on that note, we will leave the broadcast and say thanks, everybody, and we'll see everybody again in a couple of weeks on the 19th. And, sorry, on the 18th, I think it was, 18th of the 7th. So, big thanks, everybody, and good night.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. Some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically.